Do you need a calculator? Yeah. No. I don't know how good I am a thrower, and I don't know how good you are as a catcher, so. Okay, so lesson 2, applications of probability. So yesterday we talked about probability, and basically it's the chance that something is going to happen, right? So something is going to occur. This one gets into the applications. So applications are found in situations involving medications, warranties, insurance, lotteries, weather predictions, vehicle recalls, games of chance, and etc. So there's a lot of applications of this probability business, right? So example 1, a 20-sided die is rolled. Okay, so this is a 20-sided die. I don't know if you've seen something like this before. So state the probability of rolling 19 or 20. And the common notation for stating the probability of 19 or 20 is this one here. So in this 20-sided die, these are the possible outcomes. Okay, so these are the possible outcomes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12. Okay, so it could land at 1, 2, 3, all the way to 20. Okay, so these are the all possible outcomes. So the question is, what is the chance, what would be the chance of getting a 19 or 20? Getting a 19 or 20, so that's these two. So the probability of getting 19 or 20, well, there's only 2 of them, right? So 2 out of 20. 2 out of everything else. Okay, so 2 out of the 20 chances. So you can write it as a fraction. You can write it as words. So you can say 2 out of 20. So that's, you can write it in words. We can write it as a decimal. So if you want to write that as a decimal, just to kind of review what we did yesterday, 2 divided by 20 is going to give us 0.1. 0.1. I'm just going to add the 0 at the end, 1 0, to make it 2 decimal places, or making it a percent, so timesing it, multiplying it by 100. So that's going to be 10%. Okay, is that good? So you can just write this as 2 out of 20 or 2 over 20. Good, that's not bad. Okay, using the same 20-sided die, determine the probability of rolling 5 or less. So what is the chance that we're gonna get 5 or less? So I'm just gonna write this down again. If you want to, you can copy this down. Okay, so I want to get the chance of rolling 5 or less. So I'm gonna, what numbers are 5 or less? 5 or less. So 5 is right there, or less. So I'm looking at all of these numbers down here, right? So the probability of 5 or less, how many are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. out of everything else, out of 20. So 5 out of 20. There's a 5 out of 20 chances that we're gonna roll 5 or less. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Okay? Is that good? Now, let's take a look at example number 3. In a school where there are 215 males, 258 females, one person is selected at random. Okay? State P male. So what this is asking for, well, what is the probability? State the probability that we're going to pick, a chance of picking a male person. So P male. So how many males are there? There's going to be 215 out of 473. Yes. We add them all up. 473. Yeah. So you can leave it as that, 215 divided by 473. Okay. It's good? So far so good? That's a chance. Okay. Number 4. State the probability of choosing a T from the word statistics. So if this is in a bag, and then we put in the bag those letters as the word statistics, individual letters. What is the chance that we're gonna see a T, pick a T? So probability of choosing a letter T. Okay, so how many possibilities that we can pick a T in this statistics? So there's 1, 2, 3. There are 3 T's in here. There are 3 T's out of all of them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 3 out of 10, or 3 divided by 10, will be the chance of picking a T in the word statistics. Is that okay? Yeah, this one is. Last but not the least, a random testing of cell phones shows that 2 out of every 500 cell phones are defective. 2 out of 500 cell phones are defective. State the probability that the selected cell phone is not being defective. So this is 2 out of 500 cell phones are defective. So we know 2 out of, but in the question is, how many are, what is the probability that whatever we choose, what's the chance of not having a defective, not defective? Okay, so we're looking at the chance of not defective. So, well, how many defectives are there? There are 2 defectives. How many are not defective? It's going to be 500. No, that's the whole thing. Like, so many are not defective, not broken. So you have 2 defectives. How many are not defective? That means 498 not defective. So the chances of not getting not defective would be 498 out of 500 cell phone. Okay. Okay. So we have a 498 out of 500 chances of not defective cell phones. Finally, if the cell phone company manufactures sorry, not 100, 10,000 cell phones. Determine how many you would expect to be defective. So for every 500, 2 are defective. So how many would be defective in the whole batch of 10,000 cell phones? So how can we figure that out? So 2 out of 500 are defective, right? So 2 out of 500 are defective. Now, if there are we're gonna go times it by 10,000. So this is the chance that are defective, and if we multiply it by 10,000, that's gonna give us the number of how many are defective. So 2 divided by 500, I said 500, okay, times 10,000, 40. So there should be 40 defectives. Okay. Can I show you how another way of doing that? Okay. So 2 are defective out of 500. So the question is equal to how many are defectives if there are 10,000? Oh. So this is basically what's happening there to make it look like that. So if 2 for every 500 are defective, so how many are defective for a batch of 10,000? So cross multiply that. Cross multiply. So x is equal to 2 over 500 times 10,000. That's equal to 40. 40 cell phones would be defective. You like the other one better?
No, I said I found another way.
Oh, what's the other way? Tell me.
10,000 divided by 500.
Uh-huh.
You get 20 times 2.
Yeah, okay, yes. Okay, I'm gonna write that down. Okay, here's the other way. Other way. So strategy, this is the first strategy that I mentioned. This is the second strategy that now we're gonna bring in Melena's third strategy. So strategy number 3, I'll put it right there. So you had 10,000, so 10,000 divided by 500. Okay, so that tells us how many 500s there are. And then did you just go times it by 2? Yeah, pretty much.
Answer first.
Oh, you got the answer first. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, pretty much the same thing. So 10,000 divided by 500. So that means there are 20 500 batches, right? Okay, I don't know if you could imagine that one. If you have 10,000 and then if you put them in batches of 500, then you're gonna have 20 batches of 500. And then once you have 5 batches of 500, in each batch you have 2 are defective. So times it by 2. Times it by 2. Oh, I said 2. So 40. Yeah. Excellent. Very good. Very good. Awesome. That was a pretty fast one. So there it is. We finished that lesson 2 of our last booklet.